Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's Monday night. We're not live at 8 o'clock because there is an England versus Spain game. You can watch that with me. I'm doing a watch along on That's Football. Link in the video description. But we're here to talk about Jose Mourinho demanding 4 Manchester United signings in January. We talk about who that is in a moment. Also, a few people leaving Manchester United, one particularly in January that I think a lot of people will be quite happy about. And also some very big news. Luke Shaw, as we've been tweeting about over the weekend, we know he's out of contract in the summer. Apparently, he will be signing a 5-year contract at Manchester United very, very soon. People like the BBC are talking about that now, Simon Stone. So I think that's set in stone that Luke Shaw will be signing for Manchester United for the further 5 years, which is great, a brilliant turnaround. But let's talk about these 4 January transfer targets. We'll also be talking about this potential Saudi Arabian takeover, some developments there. A lot of developments today, in fairness. But so really, I think the thing for me really is, I say this to you when we talk about the 4 targets, are that this is in January. We've got Chelsea on Saturday. We've got Juventus. We've got Man City on the horizon. I mean, how can Jose Mourinho? I mean, I think a good business has contingency and expectations that Mourinho will be here in January. But there cannot be any guarantees that he'll be here in January. And I think a lot of United fans is, even if he is here in January, would you give him the money to spend? I really want to know, the people who are watching live and not live, would you back Mourinho with money in January, considering it's year 3 and we are not winning the title and we are not going to be in a title challenge? So why would you give him money in January when it's year 3 and you're giving him more money and it's 3 years without a title challenge? That's what I would say. The 4 players that he's meant to be looking at are Milinkovic-Savic, which we spoke about at the weekend, Milenkovic, who is the centre-back for Fiorentina, Rebic, who I believe is still at Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany, and Perisic, who is obviously at Inter Milan. 4 targets there. Now, this has been reported today. Personally, I think it's a load of nonsense. I think some of it's a load of nonsense. Obviously, he was watching Serbia on the end of last week, international duty. I've said my bit about Milinkovic-Savic last week. Milinkovic-Savic is an interesting signing for Manchester United. Probably should have done it in the summer, but I would see him more as a replacement for Pogba if Pogba was going to go. And I don't think Milinkovic-Savic is on the same level as Pogba at this moment in time. Very different players. Milinkovic-Savic is a little bit slower, a little bit more forward thinking, and we need somebody on the base of the midfield who can get the ball moving quicker. So it worries me that none of those targets are that. I mean, as I've said before, you can have Messi, Ronaldo and Neymar as a front 3. If you've got Matic, McTominay and Fellaini as your ball carriers from back to front, them 3 are on holiday. You know, they may as well be out doing a bit of promotion work for Nike and Adidas and whoever else they're doing it for, because they ain't doing anything for United. People wonder about why Lukaku's doubled in size. I mean, there's that picture of him signing for Everton and what he looks like for Manchester United now. And he literally has doubled in size. Some people are saying it's fat, some people are saying it's muscle. The reality is, boredom leads to people visiting the fridge. And boredom as a number 9 for Manchester United when you're sat on your arse with nothing to do. Is it any wonder that Lukaku's bulked up a bit? He's either down the fridge or he's down the gym bumping up, isn't he? A little more, get the party going on the dance floor. Pump it up a little more. That's what Lukaku's doing. He's down the gym or he's down the fridge. Because up front for United, there's definitely no practice of shooting and he's got sod all else to do because nothing happens. You've got that platform of Matic, Fellaini, McTominay moving the ball from back to front. You're going to have a lot of spare time on your hands. Take up knitting, Lukaku, or maybe just run around the edge of the pitch. You know, more things might happen. But none of our signings are looking at that issue. We've seen Pogba drop too deep to solve that issue, but we've got nobody in there to solve that issue at Manchester United. And that, for me, is always the issue. You know, even Kante can move the ball quickly, as you'll see on Saturday. But Milinkovic-Savic, yeah, he's a Pogba replacement, so that doesn't please me, even though I like him. Perisic, well, we should have got Perisic 2 summers ago. If we were going to get him, we should have got him last summer, just gone. If we're going to go and get him now, he's knocking on 30's door. So I don't think he's great. Rebic, I just think had a good World Cup. He's a Yerry Mina. You know, he had a good World Cup. Are we going to buy Rebic off a good World Cup? Milenkovic, who's 20 years of age, well, he's only just turned 21. I mean, I know a lot about Milenkovic because I watch Serie A and I know a lot about the centre-backs in Serie A. And Milenkovic, I mentioned him in the World Cup because he played for Serbia there. I said, you know, he's one for the future. He's one for the future. He doesn't come into United team in January and change Manchester United around. That's not what happens. It just doesn't. So he also needs development. And, well, what's happened with Lindelof's development? What's happened with Bay's development? What's happening with Pereira's development? What's happened with Rashford and Martial's development? You know, is Mourinho the man for development? So I don't think Milenkovic it doesn't make any sense to me. I think we're looking at Milinkovic-Savic, because why would Jose Mourinho be looking at a 21-year-old centre-back that needs development? He needs people now. He'll be looking at the Boatengs, and God, did we dodge a bullet there. I mean, I think Lukaku signed to Boateng and obviously missed. And also maybe an Alderweireld, if he's not going to stay at Spurs. But that's the sort of centre-back that you go with if you are going to keep Jose Mourinho. But I do not think... I tell you what, I haven't seen Mr. Pineapple Hero for ages. Can't see video and saying, yeah, he's not been on for a while because he doesn't realise that the live chat is not on there. You've got to watch it on your thing. Rebic is average, says Daniel Ajasi. Compare Lukaku's ego with Zlatan is like comparing a Mustang with a Lamborghini. Who do I recommend for Manchester United, says Zana Uthman. Look, I was asked the question today, what would I do if I was Manchester United manager? The first thing I'd do, right? First thing I'd do is I'd get Ashley Young, Antonio Valencia, Phil Jones and Fellaini. I'd give them a one-way ticket to the desert, and I'd get Jose Mourinho to drive the bus, and they can all stay. That's the first thing I would do. Those 5 things need to be out of Manchester United. We need a new manager, and we need a new centre-back, we need a new midfielder, and we need backup for Shaw and Dalot as right-back and left-back. That's what we need. That's what I would do at Manchester United, as pure and simple as that. So who I'd be looking to bring in, look, who I would want at centre-back is probably going to be very different to Jose Mourinho, although he was linked to Skriniar into Milan. I really like him. I think Koulibaly could probably do a job as well. I mean, I would take Alderweireld. I think most people would take Alderweireld. I just worry about his age. I really do. But look, I just find it very... I mean, I want to answer... please do get in the comments below if you're not watching live, and if you are watching live, just for the next minute for the live people, would you give Jose Mourinho, if he's still here in January... So imagine we win 2, we lose 1. We win 2, we lose 1. It's Christmas, we win 1. It's New Year, it's January. Right, do you give Jose Mourinho £200 million to spend on 4 players, £100 million, £50 million? Do you give him anything? Remember, Van Gaal got nothing in the January before he was sacked. Would you give Jose Mourinho money in January if he's still here and we're about 4th? Would you give him money? There's no chance of the title. All he's going to do is maybe get 3rd or 2nd. He can't get the title because we won't be getting the title this year. In fact, I don't think we'll get 2nd either. We might not even get 3rd. So would you give Jose Mourinho more money in January, considering this season really should have been about a title challenge and it's a bloody disaster? Would you give him more money? I just want to know. I wouldn't give him a penny, says Gazel Cesar. Tabisho says no as well. He will sign 30-year-old, says Kylian Moutinho, so no from me. If we're 4th, then yes, says Karen Deep. I should have asked why. If we're already in 4th, why are you giving Mourinho another £100 million when we're already in 4th? I think this squad should be more than good enough to get 4th. I think if you're giving him money in January, that's another anticipation that you're going to keep him beyond May. You're going to give him another season. You're going to give him year 4. I should have made that clearer, actually. If you're giving money to a manager in January, that means you expect him to be there the following August. I think if you're not giving him money in January, you're looking to get rid of him in the summer, which is what happened with Van Gaal. One finger salute is all I'm going to give Jose, says Zotti Moon. I'd give him money to get out of his contract, says Gregory Ho. Good one. People are forgetting he is the same manager who's won everything at club level. People need to give him some space. He is the special one and needs more time than he needed, says Ash Hussain. Yeah, sort of facts and evidence don't back you up, Ash, but I like your positivity. If he wins in November, Yash, then I would give him the money. And takeover is imminent, says Memento Stocks. Hey, I just want to talk about that takeover. We retweeted a very interesting tweet from John Simpson, who is a very, very respected journalist. Nothing to do with football, BBC journalist, I believe. He's been in war zones and everything. And he said, in relation to the family, I think it's the Salman family from Saudi Arabia, in relation to their rumoured takeover, they are the people who are suspected of having a journalist killed in the last few weeks, I think. So we retweeted that because John Simpson's nothing to do with football. So that just makes you think, doesn't mean they did it, doesn't mean they did it at all. But if that family is implicated in that sort of thing, we'd love all your money to make us a big club. But morally, that question is there. And for me, if they are implicated in things like that, I wouldn't want them anywhere near our club. I am still a moral person. Even though United have loads of money, I still think that there is... I don't want blood on the club or anything like that. So not for me if that's true. But there doesn't appear to be anything in the takeover anyway. That's what's been reported today. That it doesn't. Ed Woodward is actually in Saudi Arabia next week, apparently, for some sort of board meeting, and there is no appetite. Apparently, Sky Sports were reporting there is no appetite for the Glazers to sell Manchester United at the moment. And of course there isn't. Of course there's no appetite to sell Manchester United at the moment. They haven't bled us enough yet. There's plenty more blood out of this Manchester United stone for them to take out of our club. Why would they sell us? They're making so much money out of us. They don't want to sell us. They don't want to sell us. And clearly, obviously, they're not going to sell us. It's just a bloody pipe dream, isn't it? I'd love United to go. I'd love United to go and be sold to a very rich owner who has some morals backgrounds, obviously. And maybe the Saudi Arabian family does. Maybe they're being accused unfairly. But I certainly don't think the Glazers are going to sell us anytime soon. George Kyle says they're leechers of the club. And they've done a... blood money, no thank you, says Selwyn Bridges. Why don't we go for Fakir, says Manikdan Balaji? I don't know. 25 minutes until kickoff, says Callum Josh. Yeah, I'm literally going to go live from this straight to my England versus Spain watch along, which is the link in the video description for that. There's a few things I want to talk. First, please do drop a like on the video if you're watching live. We will be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, but I've done it at 7 o'clock tonight because I'm doing the England watch along. Oh, I forgot some massive news for you as well. A lot of you have been on about us doing a podcast for a long time. So, me and Drawty, people might not know who Drawty is because he's not been on for a while, but massively involved in the graphics, used to come on the shows quite a lot. So, me and Drawty are starting a United Stand podcast every week from now on, and the first one is up. And this is going to be on our Patreon page, which is an exclusive United Stand members club. Some people have been members it for a while. It's $2 a month, so it's less than... what can you get for $2 a month now? The link is in the video description, and the first podcast is up. It's 1 hour a week. Pineapple on pizza. I give my honest opinion on Eden Hazard, talking about a United takeover as well. It is a podcast. You can download it as an audio file, or you can just listen to it in audio file when you're at work, school, or anything like that. So there is now an exclusive audio podcast from the United Stand weekly with myself and Drawty, which you can get through the link in the video description as well. $2 a month, and you can fire your questions in there. And if people like, basically what I'd say it's like is if you like my FIFA stuff, or you like it when I let loose and say what I really think, then that's what the podcast is going to be all about. And it's not all about football as well. So please do support it and give it a watch. There's some very, very funny moments in the first one, and that will continue. So United Stand podcast, Patreon page, link in the video description, $2 a month, and you're going to get at least 4 podcasts a month on there, and we'll grow it out from there. So good. Selwyn Goodbridge says, why not put it on YouTube? Because you've got more than enough stuff. There's always somebody, isn't there? You've already getting 2 bits a week on YouTube, and also a podcast doesn't work on YouTube because it's an audio file. So I should have answered it that way. Tadagawasi Chikonzu says, why give Mourinho more money when he has failed to integrate Bailly and Lindelof, for example, or wants to bring in players who will just increase the average age? No, thank you. And if Mourinho gets the dressing room back, why wouldn't you? I'm not his biggest fan, but if we're winning and there's still dressing room troubles and he needs more players, give him what he wants, says Alec M. Interesting. The podcast is available everywhere, Marcus Profit. Patreon is actually an American website, so it's worldwide, the podcast. Everybody can get it. The link is in the video description. Like I say, $2 a month. And yeah, there it is. And it's going to be an audio podcast. Really, go and give the first one a watch. It was great. You are the one who can make one's day better, says Hannibal Wolf. Thank you. What's a podcast, Kes Comfort Ben? Moving on. Scott McTominay could be loaned from Manchester United this January. That was reported in the British press today. He's only started, I think, a couple of games for United so far. I think that would be a good move for Scott McTominay. I really do. I think any move's a good move from Scott McTominay that stops him taking Fred's place in the first team. So that is a positive. I would take that as a positive, and I hope a lot of you would do. Podcast works just fine on YouTube. I have a podcast on YouTube and it's great. Look, Arsene Wenger, we're not putting it on YouTube. We put enough content onto YouTube. It is on Patreon. If you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. Shut up. The Saudi Arabian talkover we've spoken about. Luke Shaw we've spoken about. 4 players we've spoken about. Scott McTominay we have spoken about as well. Rojo back is an interesting one, Justin Blackman. But obviously at the moment the issue with Rojo is that he's just always injured. He's always injured. The players Jose starts are Lukaku and Matic, who he knows before. He starts Pogba because he has to. Otherwise, all his signings are a flop. And I pray that we lose in the Champions League so that we don't get any Champions money, says 2 Mele. Well, I'm not one of those that wants us to. I'm going to say this to you all now. And I've sort of hinted at it a few times. I've got a funny feeling we're going to get a result against Juventus next Tuesday. I'm not convinced the Italian league is at the level everyone thinks it is. Because I watch it a lot. It is improving. But I'm not convinced it is. It's not quite as quick. And I think if we catch the game right, we can get something out of it. But I'm massively excited about the next 2 games for United. I don't know about you lot, but I'm absolutely cannot wait to play Chelsea at the weekend and Juventus. And I think just because everybody is so negative about it, and we're quite rightly negative about it, I've got a funny feeling out of one of those games we're going to win. Personally, I hope it's Chelsea, because I think we'll come second in that group anyway. Although we did only draw against Valencia at Old Trafford. So massively exciting. Chelsea, we used to lose there even when we were brilliant. And Juventus, if we don't beat them in Old Trafford and we draw or lose, we are desperately in a bad situation in that group, considering we'll have played 2 of our 3 home games and not won either. And we've got to go to Valencia and get a result then, and Turin and get a result. We've got to beat Juventus next week. If we don't win against Juventus next week, there is a very realistic chance that we will be in the Europa League or worse come Christmas, because that group will be tough to get out of. This is why when people talk about what's Mourinho going to spend in January, I think, why would you give him any money? I just think that, and it's going over old rope really, but I just think that these next few games are massively difficult for him. And you might be able to pull it round from 2-0 against Newcastle, but I don't think you'll pull it round from a bad start against Chelsea or Juventus. So we've got to play 90 minutes. Like Sophie said last night, we've never played 90 minutes under Mourinho, and we're going to have to do that. Chelsea, I can't wait for Stephen Owens. I hate the international break, and I'd be excited if we were playing bloody Crew at the weekend, because I just want United back. But the fact is that we've got a massive game. I just cannot wait for it, and hopefully he'll be joining us all week to build it up. Flex is going to be down on Stamford Bridge, not the one in York, where King Harold famously won against the Vikings before having to march down and fight the Battle of Hastings. Stamford Bridge in Chelsea, and he'll be talking to some Chelsea fans outside about that, because also, what we really want to get from some of the Chelsea fans this week is not just about the preview. Can they give us any parallels to what Mourinho is doing to our club in year 3 and compared to what he did that? What manager or player would want to get, I don't know, Fellaini scoring a winner at Chelsea, says Faraz. I don't know. It could happen. I would sign Ronaldo's boy. Now he looks like his father, says Free Runners. When will Martial sign his contract, says Pankaj. No, Anthony Martial says that. There's so many United players who need to sign contracts. It is quite worrying. Why can't Fred play in the Chelsea game, says Nickel. Absolutely. And for those people who are joining us a little bit late, as a summary, Luke Shaw about to sign a 5-year contract. Doesn't look like the takeover from Saudi Arabia has any legs in it at all, and the Glazers don't want to sell us. Mourinho apparently wants 4 signings in January. Milinkovic-Savic, Milenkovic the centre-back, Perisic and Rebic. Would you give him any money? Even if we are in 4th, would you give him any more money? Remember, this season was meant to be about a title race. Should he be going anyway in May? Why would you give him any money? And obviously Scott McTominay looking to be going on loan in January, which I think is perfect. I think Scott McTominay needs to stop trying to do things in a United shirt, go out to the Championship, see if he can do it over there, and if he can't, then we don't need to try him in the United shirt anymore. If he can, maybe he can earn that right from playing week in, week out for someone like Derby. That would be perfect. Do you think Lingard should have more football time, says Callum Josh? Not when he's injured. Janusai's not coming back, Noah, and I wouldn't want him back. Memphis is one thing, Janusai's another. We will lose 3-0 to Chelsea, says O'Shane. Jose has to leave. No way, no money for Mourinho now, says Monis. Look, very, very quick show, but we had to do a show tonight because I had to do it at 7 o'clock and not 8 o'clock. Smash that like button. Let's see if we can get 500 likes whilst we are live. Couple of things to tell you about. The link is in the video description below the first paragraph. England versus Spain watch along. Rashford plays. I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be live there in about 5 minutes. That's why there's no 8 o'clock show tonight, because England are playing. So I did the England game on Friday. Yes, there's a match on, but there was a lot of United questions ongoing. So It's a bit like a United Stand show watching England, but it's on That's Football, so there'll be lots of questions on there. I'm sure we'll be having a beer and talking about all sorts of shite as per usual. And also, give the podcast a listen. The podcast is on our Patreon page now. $2 a month to support that podcast. United Stand Members Club. $2 a month is all it costs. You're going to get 4 podcasts on there, which is an hour of audio conversation between me and the Draughty Devil. Every week it will go up on a Monday. We recorded it last night. It's up there now for you to listen to. Really want to get your feedback on your thoughts and your involvement in that. And on the Patreon page, we will be giving away things like United shirts and stuff like that, because obviously people will be giving us a couple of dollars a month for those 4 podcasts. So that's where our brand new exciting podcast is going to be. A lot of people have been asking about it. You can download it as an audio file. You can get it on your RSS feed. There's a link for it there as well. So link in the video description for that. Go and give that a listen to when you're at work or school or something like that. There were some funny conversations in there. And I also had a bit of a chat about a few things that I think people will find interesting. So thanks everyone for watching. On That's Football for England versus Spain. The podcast thing is in there. That is already available to everybody worldwide, whether you're India, Australia, America, UK, everybody. Drop a like, and I will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And you've got the Flex and Rant show tomorrow at 1 o'clock as well. So loads going on as we build towards Chelsea. Let's go and watch Rashford and see if he can score some goals. And don't forget to give the podcast a listen. See you all soon.